Welcome to another episode of Alpha Intuition Podcast. We're going to help you guys crack that crazy girl code. I'm your host, Keisha L. Blair, and joining me again this week is beautiful, insightful mind wellness coach, Essence Yarbrough, and we're welcoming back Jerry Yarbrough, our alpha male energy that we have on the show. What's up, you guys? How y'all doing today?
Hey,
What's up, Keisha? What's up, Jerry? How y'all doing?
doing what it do.
All right.
Glad to
So
be back.
we're gonna just hop right into today's topic. So today we're gonna be talking about what women say versus what men hear. Now we already know we be saying all kind of stuff. Men don't even be listening, and sometimes when they do, they still don't even hear what we want them to hear. So we just gonna get right into it. Um,
Right.
yeah. So I'm just gonna throw something out there. So since Jerry, you know you're our male on the show, and we want to see what you feel about some of the things that we have to say. Um, First one is, what do you think when you hear a woman say, "We need to talk"?
We need to talk
Mm-hmm.
about to break up or about to be real close to it.
Hmm. So that ain't what we really mean. Now, Ezra, you can chime in on this too. Usually, when I tell somebody we need to talk, that's basically what I'm saying is that I just want us to have a conversation to get some clarity because you've done something that has really made me upset, and I really want to be with you. That's why I'm taking the time to even express to you that I want to talk to you about it. Because if we was about to break up, we just break up. I wouldn't even
So
take the
it's
time to talk to you about it.
okay.
Yeah, like why jump straight into a breakup? You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Like why yeah, it's like we need to talk. There are those times. Typically we are taught to kind of think that if you're talking about we need to break or not we need to break up, but we need to talk where it's at the tail end of things where things have come to such a high point that now, okay, we have to talk about this.
When I hear a woman say we need to talk, it depends on how it's coming at me, right? If I'm at work or we're not physically together and I receive that message or I hear that on the phone, uh, yeah, it's like you're just trying to deflate me. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
don't drop that while we ain't physically sitting there together because you know it's not going to invoke a good feeling in me. So you're throwing a dagger first, I guess you could say, something like that.
Yeah.
So for me, uh, now if we're physically together and you sit down on the couch and like, you know, babe, we need to talk. That's different. If it's, we need to talk.
Mm.
See, the
So it's more
words,
tone, huh?
it's not just the words, it's how you say it. It's the situation in which you say it.
Mm.
So no matter what, we're gonna pick it apart that way if we care. I mean, there's been
Well,
times
I
where
would
I
hope
just been like,
so. But so what if it's a text message?
you ought not send that over text message.
Well, sometimes we do because we're trying to diffuse the situation as opposed to you receiving it wrong. So we're gonna send a text and say, "Hey, we need to talk."
So the point of the conversation is for you to see what we translate it to
Yeah.
from our perspective. That's what I'm giving.
So if you
So it's
hear,
gonna change how I
well,
should
no,
perceive
I'm
what's happening.
asking. So if you get a
Yeah.
text message that says, "Hey, we need to talk," I mean, because we mentioned tone, right? So there is no tone in a text message. This is how you interpret that
Yeah,
tone.
there is. It sure is a tone. If it was, baby, I miss you so much. You know, you last night was awesome. Blah blah blah
Nah,
blah.
all you
We
getting
need
is we
to
need to talk.
talk. Yeah.
Ain't none of that. Ain't
If
none
all
of that
I'm
fluff
getting,
on the front.
if all I'm getting is we need to talk, then it depends on where's your from a text. I'm a trip anyway. It don't even matter. If I can communicate over a text and that's all you say out the blue, man, I'm about to prepare for battle if I care enough. See what I
Mm.
mean? So now, see, this is what I think a lot of women don't understand when they say certain stuff. You automatically send the man into, hmm, I mean, if we wasn't together, Valentine's Day is coming, I save. Birthday coming, I save. Christmas coming, I
Oh,
save. See, y'all be missing to make a point. And do you want to win or do you want to be happy? I learned that from Dr. Phil like 20 years ago.
Mm. So
It's interesting.
most of the time when a woman
Yeah.
says we need to talk, it is because it's a buildup of something.
Mhm.
And we're now gotten to the point to where we've kind of reached our wits end on that, whatever it is that has built up. And because whatever subtle hints we've given before then, you didn't recognize what those were. So now we're just saying, okay, before this goes any further, I'm just going to just have a conversation to just nip it in the bud. By all means, do we want to break up? Absolutely not. It is not because we're saying, okay, we're about to have a breakup, or that something bad is about to happen. What we're trying to do is to derail something bad from happening by saying, hey, we need to talk.
Okay.
Right.
No matter what
Yeah.
though, you need to do that face to face and sit down on the couch and start it off with, baby, we need to talk. You need to start with something to let me know, okay, this isn't termination of the relationship, or this isn't a threat. Make sense?
Why would you take it as a threat or termination of a relationship?
If you don't start with love before saying that phrase to us, it's taken as a threat. It's taken as, or, oh man, what I done did now.
More
So
than likely, it's because you did do something, though. That's why
It
we need.
could be for that reason. I
I
think
ain't
it's
even gonna say
important
what
to
I think.
note.
I'm gonna let that slide. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I think it is important to note that in a man's masculine, in his masculinity, it is just his nature to be more on guard, to be more on the defensive. So I could understand. Think about it. How you're like, okay, we need to talk. That's your first stance. It's like, okay, what do I need to be prepared for? You see what I mean? As
Nah,
opposed to,
no,
okay, then tell me,
my first, again,
because that's how I
without
would
love,
take. Because that's how it comes off. Like you're about to be on the defense,
I get it.
right?
But there's two ways to go about it. With love first, baby, we need to talk about something. That's different. We need to talk about something. That's telling me, okay, we have a subject that I need to sit down and hone in on. Okay. When you throw something on the end of that, put baby in front, something on the end to help me chill and listen. If you just hit me with a text message or a voice message, we need to talk, and I'm not even expecting it, like we wasn't beefing, you just in your head about something while you nibbling on some Fritos and drinking some coffee at work, like
That's nasty.
well, I don't know.
Fritos coffee.
It's chili cheese Fritos. I don't have to see it. But on the real though, like if you want consideration in how we come with you, you should have consideration in how you come with us. And just because
Hmm.
you feel in a type of way and you throw that out there, you have no idea where you just set my mind into thinking about what would life be like without it.
Hmm.
Not so bad. Don't sound so bad. You
Mm.
know, if you got a dude that's a puppy, that's different. What do you mean? He'll reply back, what do you mean? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. If my woman were to hit me with that, I mean, like, because we are where we are, I might be like, yo, what's up?
Mm.
And now I'm waiting to see what's the response gonna be. You know what I'm saying? To before I let my mind do what it's gonna do. So prepare the ground. Prepare the ground. That's what I would say. It's
Interesting.
not healthy to do that. It's really
Hmm.
not.
Mm.
Because you literally put us in the mindset of, well, if this is it, dang, I got this bonus check coming that she don't even know. No,
Right.
whatever.
Wow. Okay.
Just sold that house and she don't know about it. I was gonna surprise her. Alrighty then.
What are some nonverbal cues that you think women show that is hard to kind of interpret? Like if she's just walking around and she's quiet all day.
So she don't say nothing.
I think
What do y'all think?
And then wait, before you answer that, walking around not saying nothing, and then if you ask something like, "Are you okay?" and she just says, "Oh, I'm fine."
I'm fine.
I'd be like, "What's the problem?" That's my
Nothing.
next.
I'm fine.
How many times y'all gotta have that back and forth?
Like, I'm not about to, you know, or oh, you know, I'll tell you what. I'm sorry, in my new self, I'll probably be like, all right, if you got something you need to talk about, let me know when you're ready to talk. I'm gonna go do this. I'm about to, you know. So I'm not gonna stay there with you.
Mm-hmm.
I love myself too much to do that. I'm not.
Interesting.
I know for me, as a woman, when I go quiet, I am upset about something or disappointed about something, typically, or I'm trying to process something and I'm not sure that speaking about it, I need to make sure it's going to come out the right way. So I'd rather be quiet about it. I do have an issue, not probably ready to talk about it, or I feel hopeless, depending on where we are in the relationship. I feel hopeless that if I say something, it still won't be resolved. So I'd rather just be quiet rather than it be a meaningless conversation. So if I'm quiet, those are some of my reasons as to why. But if you ask me and I say I'm fine or it's all good, I might say that, but I'll say, I would like to talk about it later. So I have done that, but just right now I need to process.
I'm going to say this. I think for me in situations like that, if I say I'm fine or don't worry about it and I let it go, it's because I'm in a moment to where I know whatever is going to come out is not going to be healthy. And it's best for me to just hold it in until I calm down. And I may not even want to talk about it because I weigh within myself, okay, is this worth arguing over?
Right. Yep.
With someone where it may just blow up and then the situation's going to get worse. Or if I just let it go. So it's almost like you have to pick and choose your battles. So sometimes I will say I'm fine. No, I'm good. And I'm just know that in about a day or maybe an hour, whatever the case may be, I'm going to calm down and I'm going to let it go because I may have just blown it up and it may not even be as serious as what I'm thinking it is in that moment. But once I allow myself to calm down, then I'm like, it's not even worth bringing it up. Because whatever I gotta say, it ain't gonna change with him no way, and I'm not going nowhere. So why would I even bring it up?
Yep, exactly. Been there too. Like I ain't going nowhere.
I think the key that I would give both of you is to just tell them, "I'm processing, baby. Just give me a little bit. I'm processing. You good? Like, sure you good? No, I'm cool because it's a temporary thing. It's not something. It's not a huge red flag prepping you for departure, right? And so in that case, it's just to say, I'm just processing some stuff. I'm working through it. And if your man is mature and he comes at you later because he loves you, and he says, "Hey, so what were you processing? Like, what was that about?" Just like, baby, I handled it. I handled it. I'm good. Get sexy. You know what I'm saying? Take his mind right off of it.
You made me think
Process it. Huh?
Made me think of a good one. So, like, what about in that moment? And you be like, "Are you good? Yeah, I'm good. Anything you need me to do? Do whatever you want." Ooh.
Yeah, women do say that.
Do whatever you want.
That hasn't been really my thing, but I've said it long time ago. Do what you want. At that point, I'm like, but that was in my old day. Like now, if he gets to that point, I'm like, I'm done probably at that point if I'm saying that.
So I'm trying to help men. You guys are helping men with what you're saying, right? So
what we mean by what we say.
And I think I said this in the last one, like, we got to divide the lanes. Are you dating? Do you live together? Are you married? Like, these are different lanes. And if I'm dating and you hit me with that, I ain't even dating you no more. Like, that's it. I can't even.
That's a
Got
little
me.
different. I don't think I would say
think
that. That's clear and cut right there. If someone says we're not
You
even
see
dating,
what I mean? Like,
that's
let's
clear and cut.
define the lane. So if the lane is dating and these things happen, we need to talk. Anything gonna happen if you date. Nowadays, you'll just get ghosted. Either the man or the woman will just get ghosted.
Well,
There
see,
is
the
no
thing is like what the way men interpret dating and the way women interpret dating is a little bit different because most of the time it just depends on how many times you've been intimate with someone. Because in your mind, you might just think, okay, we're just being intimate, we're just cool, we're just buddies, and in her mind, you her man.
That's just two immature people though, because there's no communication.
But it's very common.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but unfortunately, it's very common.
You guys are in two totally separate relationships. You ain't with her, but she's definitely with you.
Yeah, that happens a lot. It happens a lot, and what happens is that women are communicating on one level, and therefore, because she's not receiving what she's hoping for or thinking she's supposed to be getting from the man, because the where she's at, she begins to build resentment within her. And so you'll get these little remarks or the silent treatment and things like that, which, by the way, I believe ultimately that the silent treatment can be used as a form of manipulation and abuse.
Mm-hmm.
I am not pro silent treatment, depending on what it is. Like, you're trying to process, that's one thing. And it's like, hold on, I just got to process. But when you are intentionally using that to be malicious, to spark an emotion or provoke, a slight, it's out of order. And I'm never for that as a woman, but specific for anyone, from anybody. But yeah.
So as dating, what were we on? I'm fine. Or do what you want.
No, it was
whatever you want.
Whatever you want.
I'm fine. Do whatever you want. That's a spat. That's different than we need to talk.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm.
That can lead to great sex later. You
still wouldn't do whatever you want, could.
I'm just saying, then I'll shoot something back, and it is what it is. But that can end up being cool. Like, girl, what you tripping on? Come here. You know what I mean? Like,
right. That's true.
Right. So
that is true.
We need to talk is different. I'm fine. It's different. So all I'm saying is, if you're saying to a man, I'm fine, finish it with, I'm processing something. I hope I don't even need to talk to you about it. Let me deal with it. Let me figure it out. If I gotta come to you, I will. That's a great line of communication to a man that you respect, because you're respecting how he's receiving what you're saying, and you want to put him at ease because you're not putting forth a threat that I'm thinking about leaving you. You see what I mean? Like, even if you're just dating for a while and you don't live together, that consideration is still huge. Y'all want consideration, and so do we. I guess that's what I'm getting at.
So let me say this, that women, when we are interested in someone, dating someone, in a relationship with someone, married to someone, right? In all three of these aspects, we're going to assume that love is a part of this equation in all three instances. And I have said this on numerous occasions. As long as I am getting on your nerves, telling you what I need, nagging, whatever the case may be, we still good. When I stop talking, that's when it's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
At that point,
it's a problem at that point.
I'm checked out. But as long as I'm still giving you some type of inclination to where it's like, I'm saying, oh, well, it's no big deal, or no, I'm fine, or I'm okay, or I'm giving you any type of attitude back, that's because I care. But when I just say, I'm good, go do whatever you want, and I'm smiling, oh no, it's the end game, and then it's over with, bro. It ain't no love next to that, no whatsoever. I'm good.
Yeah,
But
if she
both of y'all,
starts laughing,
Yeah, when I
if
got a
she
smile
starts
on my face,
laughing,
ain't no love in that. Now, when I'm saying no, I'm
right.
fine. I'm good. Leave me alone. Don't talk to me. Oh, I'm 100% in love with you. But if I'm saying, oh no, I'm
Mm.
fine, we good. Don't talk to me. No, we straight. It's
You got
over.
to smile.
I'm waiting on another dude to call me
If
more than likely
I was
yeah,
about to say,
yeah, if,
yeah,
because
yes,
you
that
already you pushed me to
you
that
about to,
point.
you about to break the glass jar with the
Oh
spare
yeah,
thing in, right?
absolutely. You pushed me to that
So
point.
break in case of an emergency. So that and we know that too, right? So I think the thing is recognize the red flags, before they become brick walls, and exit gracefully if you get into that. Like that's
well, and here's I'm sorry.
No,
no, it's cool.
I was
Go
just
ahead.
gonna say real quick, because you brought up breaking the glass, right? Breaking the glass
Yeah,
jar, glass case, whatever the emergency key. So
yeah.
men and women do that a little different too. See, because most of the time y'all want something new. We don't want nothing new. We want old faithful. See, and it's like
Oh,
you
I
guys
know. I didn't say the
you
one in the glass was
most of the
new.
time you like y'all be sitting up there want somebody that probably you just trying to blow some steam off. No, we get to that point, we want to be with somebody we know that's gonna take our mind off of y'all. And we can't
It's
get
the
that
thing.
it's gonna be old faithful.
It's
Okay.
unfortunate.
Let's say okay.
That's so funny.
Let's say okay.
I will also say this though, it does take a certain level of maturity that a woman reaches when she's really serious about a man. That typically won't be the first thing that she goes to, obviously, right? She'll take that time to kind of just, huh? You said what, Keisha?
I said definitely not. No, that's not the first option. That's
Yeah,
always the last resort. After you've done
yeah,
you tried to work things out time and time again, and you keep getting hit with, oh, I'm about to go do this, I'm about to go do that. And you feel like this person that you're in love with is not being receptive to the things that you're trying to say or things that you want to do, and they're not
right.
reciprocating what you're giving. Then at that point, that's when you decide to go and break that glass jar.
Yeah.
No, no. What you ought to do is simply part ways. Like that,
Ah,
part ways. Like that's it.
Yeah,
Like to
right. But that's
go.
the whole, yes, that is important. That is, Jerry, that's exactly a thing. You just part ways, right? You do. And
In a
but I
perfect
wanted to
world.
say something real quick. Well, I was trying to say something a little earlier. So
I'm listening.
I wanted to, you said what?
I said I'm listening. What you got to say?
Well, no, I wanted to say, oftentimes, we're talking about these things that women say. We're talking about these things that women say, but ultimately, it's like men, I get this from men a lot. Why don't y'all just come out and talk? Why don't y'all just say what y'all really trying to say? Right? Why don't you just say what you really feeling instead of just telling me, oh, I'm fine, and that's not really how you feel it. But what it is socially, like culturally, women, I think we have to remember men and women have been socialized differently when it comes to how to communicate. And so when it comes to the women have been socialized to actually kind of tiptoe around things because we're taught to not come off as aggressive. And
Mm.
so we end up tiptoeing, and that's where these sayings come from. We really don't realize that, but that is a big part of where that comes from. Whereas with men to say something and you guys are more direct, and it's like, oh, now I done hurt her feelings. And we will get hurt. We will get upset. We will get frustrated. And we'll say you're being insensitive. You're not being empathetic. You're not understanding where I'm coming from. And that's typically because men are not socialized to understand the context or the underlying emotions of where a woman is coming from. And the fact that she has to
Mm.
tiptoe around, that has been how we've been programmed. Okay, oh, wait a minute, Jerry, what is with that tin can, the jail cell cup you got? I'm seeing you just taking you see that little tin cup he got, girl, like he in a jail cell, just
Coffee.
ready to
Jail
rail
cell.
him against.
What in the hell you got in that cup?
Coffee.
Right.
It's a coffee cup.
Anyhow, sorry, I didn't mean to go off topic, but that's the second time I've seen that cup, and I'm just, yeah, hilarious.
Look,
But I think it's important to recognize that, to remember that.
well, I was gonna say that you mentioned something about when asking questions and things like that. So I really, really try to only ask questions that I really want to hear the answer to, whether it's in my favor or not. And I think sometimes when we ask questions, hoping that we hear what we want to hear,
Yes.
and get mad when we don't hear what we thought we weren't going to hear.
Yeah. Well, did you say that right? But yes, yeah, we do. We have in our minds what we need you to say, how we need you to answer, and of course, y'all can't read our minds. But if you're not even tiptoeing in it, around it, like you're not close, it
Mm.
really it's like we're gonna be frustrated by that. Okay, he don't know me. He don't know my favorite color. He don't really love me. We gonna go there mentally, right? So yeah, when we are hoping that you guys are tapping into us somewhere at some point. And yeah, so it's on. I don't know. I don't know, Keisha. Do we expect men to read our minds? Do you think?
No, I don't. I'm very
Am I
honest.
being loud in
And I
this mic?
think that more women should probably be more honest, which is probably why I think I probably have a lot of male friends, because I'm not that way. I kind of understand that. That's why I don't ask questions I don't want to hear the truth to. I'm not just going to ask you a question expecting you to lie to me just so you don't hurt my feelings.
Yes.
That's just
Yep. That's
validation. You don't want to
exactly.
hear the truth. You want to be validated.
Yeah.
So that's a difference.
And that's another thing is that women sometimes we are not asking questions for the relationship. We're asked, like you said, for validation and also for just our own selfish ambition, period. We want our way. Sometimes you have women that just want their way and they're trying to manipulate something into occurring the way that they have in their head it should go, and not understanding when women do that, you have to be careful to know whether or not a woman really knows you, because you have to know, especially if it's turning into an argument, you want to be a little bit more careful about how you learn how to argue with your partner. You know what I'm
Jared,
saying? You learn
Jared,
your partner.
let me ask you a question.
Yeah,
So, as a man, do you even argue with a woman that you're not even into
for fun.
for fun?
I'm very
Just for the heck of
communicative,
it.
For
right? I'm
fun.
very communicative. I'll, yeah, I mean, for the fun of it, like, yeah, over the phone, not face to face, because, you know, stuff can get stupid. But over the phone, it won't be an argument like screaming and yelling, like, I might poke or prod her a little bit, like,
Mm.
like, you really tripping over this? Like, why, for real? So I want to kind of go. So that's how I would deal with that with somebody I'm
Mhm.
just dating. Like, you just ejected yourself. I'm just kind of like, all right, we ain't even there yet. And you tripping like this, like, I
So,
don't want this to go further and have to deal with it on an even higher level because you feel you have more status in my life, and
mm.
then you feel you truly deserve the ability to kick up dust whenever you feel like it, and you can't. Like, it's just not. I don't want somebody that even thinks that way. I wanted to say really quickly
Yeah.
to what Essence was saying, expectations. Yeah, that's something that we deal with a lot for women. That if they say something in a leading way and we go the opposite direction or a totally different direction, then they got to sit there and process it. And it normally is not going to be good when they process it, the reply that we receive from them. So, expectations, I've said this a lot to people around me, expectations are dangerous. They are not good. Expectation, you can only have an expectation of someone when you have told them what your expectations are.
Mm-hmm.
Period. I don't understand what's so hard to. un- I don't get what's so hard to understand about that, other than we are in our rotation of thoughts. And even though we go, yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, you can't expect anything when you haven't set the expectation. It makes sense. But people will still turn around and do it. I found myself doing it. Again, I'm not Yoda. I'm sitting here learning even still. I'm pretty damn good. I give myself that to where I can sit back and go, all right, I'm okay, this is an expectation that I have. I may have even spoken on the expectation, but that other person is still their own person. They're still their own person. And, you know, if there's not a requirement to the relationship, then I mean, how much, how much energy am I ready to put behind that argument? Am I willing to throw the relationship away for that argument? So expectations are dangerous. That's the overall statement. Male, female doesn't matter.
Yeah, no
I like,
expectations, no disappointments.
yeah, I like to always say it's good to have clear standards and boundaries to go with those standards and that you follow those standards yourself. And then, of course, when it comes to an expectation, it's like you have to acknowledge. I believe it's good to have that awareness to acknowledge, hey, look, this was an expectation that you placed on me that I was unaware of. We can talk about it. You know what I mean? Like things like that are very helpful. I just know that a lot of people don't typically think like that. Like, hey, you put an expectation on me. It just kind of ends up being bickering. Like it turned into a bicker as opposed to real communication. So being aware of that, I think, is half the battle.
Hmm.
Yeah, you have to be
Thought
aware
I had that turned off.
that you're moving in that. And when the other person points it out to you, you're gonna have to be emotionally mature enough to own it and look in the mirror. And that's what we don't do. We don't look in the mirror. Honestly, in my opinion,
we really don't.
Until you wake up inside, you're gonna keep doing this stuff. You're just gonna keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Something that I have noticed. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Keisha.
If you're so, now we're going to change the topic, but you go ahead and ask your question.
Well, something that I've noticed is that you can have something that you see about the other person, and so you could just go as a woman. We could just go, and then about everything that's wrong. We see this wrong. We'll bicker about this. We'll say, hey, fix that. I have a problem with this. I have a problem with that. But then we don't think about all the things that the man is overlooking about the woman, that he's just like, I let that go. Oh, I really like her. I don't really care about that. But sometimes you'll have women will just be like, well, I noticed this or I noticed that. And it becomes these conversations that probably didn't even have to take place. So I think it's important for a man sometimes to say, hey, look, you notice that I don't say this and this and that about you when you were talking about looking in the mirror. As women, sometimes we don't look in the mirror. We think that we're the ones doing everything or carrying the load of the relationship, the emotional load. And we fail to understand sometimes that men have an emotional load that they carry as well in their own way. And that's not often communicated. So I just wanted to bring that up when you were talking about the mirror.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so I was going to just ask you, have you ever had a woman ask you, do you love me? And you know that you didn't love her. And if so, did you tell her that you didn't, or did you kind of just pacify the answer to not hurt her feelings?
You mean like the first time, like out the blue, like, do you love me?
Yeah. Do you love me?
Nah.
Nah, what? She never asked you?
I never had a woman like that I'm dating, like, just asking me, do I love her?
Yeah, it's like I kind of frown on that question. It's like, I mean, you would already know, because it's like I would rather you show me than tell me.
I mean,
yeah.
Like I don't even really.
I like the hearing it and the seeing it. I like both.
I don't care if you say it. I would prefer for you to show it. Like
both.
if I need you to fix something and you come fix it, if I need you to help me, you come help me. But I mean, then I'm gonna turn around and ask you, do you love me? It's like, why? Just so you can say yes or no? I don't know.
So this is what do women say versus what men hear.
Mm-hmm.
You say to me, I've never said I love you. I've never said, hey, I really care about you, blah, 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 me. And then all of a sudden, we're at dinner and you say, do you love me? Or you're getting out the car and you say, do you love me? You just apply and like, you just try to put handcuffs on me.
Trying to put what?
You're trying to manipulate.
Uh-huh.
That's manipulation.
Yeah.
And nah, man.
If a girl just says that she loves you, but she's trying to see if you love her back.
No, not if she says I love you. She says, do you love me? That's just somebody I think is one
Oh,
seeking validation. It's like you're just
ah,
trying to get that reassurance. You're trying to manipulate the situation to see if that person is going to say it back, so you can convince yourself that this person may like you more than what you really think. No, that he doesn't.
And people, in
mm,
my opinion, women really would say that they believe they're seeking validation, but they are unaware of the fact that they are manipulating that man.
That's
So
a lot of
if
pressure putting on somebody who ain't said
yeah, if you say that, I'm like, word?
okay.
Like, you asking me that right now? Like,
it.
So what if the woman is like, she's been there through thick and thin, genuinely loves the person. The person has shown and said some things to make her think that he does, but then he does some weird stuff. And she's like, do you even love me? Like, that's more to me. Isn't that more authentic as opposed to just like, you love me?
have I ever told you I love you?
Oh,
Mm.
well, no,
How
but
wrong?
if he says,
Nah,
yeah.
no, that's the response.
Yeah, that's the
I'm
response.
saying
Uh-huh.
you're all wrapped up in your emotions and your, um, you know, uh, just all wrapped up in your emotions. And
Hmm.
I've done a lot for you. I've shown you a lot, yada yada yada. But I never said I love you. And you are saying, "Do you even love me?" Like I never said I love you. So why are
Mm.
you asking me if I said I love you and I do all these things for you, and then you come back later after some BS that popped off, and you say, "Well, do you really love me?" That's different.
Mm.
If I've never said
Hmm.
the words "love you" to you, then you know, no matter what I showed, I could just be a really nice guy. You know,
Look,
Mm.
especially if you seeing that man telling everybody else, I love you to everybody else except that woman. It's like, honey, take a hint.
yeah. So it's
Take a
really
hint,
just
honey.
I don't even want to sound cold like that. I mean, I'm just trying to say again, be
Hmm.
aware. Like just because you want something so bad doesn't mean you're gonna get it. And
True.
just
Hmm.
because you want something so bad does not justify your manipulation of the guy so that you can either get it or get the opposite answer. And now you gotta make a decision or a move out of that negative space.
Mm.
So it's really just to sit down and communicate, man. Like get out of our
Hmm.
heads
Yeah.
and communicate. My little brother taught me something. Let me say this real quick. My
Hmm.
little brother taught me something that really I I was explaining a situation to him to get the moral of to get a moral, and he was like, I don't get it. I explained it again the same way. He's like, I don't get it. I started explaining it again with a little more emphasis in certain spaces. He stopped. He's like, Jerry, I majored in communication in college. Rule number one is your responsibility to convey what you want to say in a way that I can understand. I've already told you 3 times I don't understand, and you're still telling me the same story the same way, and I'm telling you I don't understand. It's your responsibility to switch it up. Put yourself in my perspective and figure out how you can convey this in a way that it makes sense to you. I was pissed. I was in my ego in that moment. So it's my little brother. So I'm sitting there, put my head down a little bit, took a breath, and I said, okay, you're right. Thank you. You just taught me something. He taught me something that stuck with me for years now. So that's for everybody. Communication is universal. If you are not being understood, you need to figure out another way to convey what you want to say. And I do not mean violently. I do not mean, doing some ill stuff or
Yeah.
breaking a glass jar, the man or the woman, right? I'm saying grow up, grow up.
Yeah. Well, in this, because, and it's, yeah, I'm glad you said grow up because a typical response is, hey, you know what? I done already told you. If you don't get it, that's on you. Because I done told you. How many times I gotta tell you? That's the typical response, which is not helpful. It shuts people down, and you become a brick wall. You end up stonewalling people like that, as opposed to truly trying to find means of communication. If it's somebody that you do care for, and instead of taking the responsibility, and saying, hey, I'm not sure how else to communicate this. I don't know another way to communicate this. You could at least say that, because then that can maybe, extend an olive branch to some degree of better communication in some other way. But I don't. Yeah.
We live in a world of information. You can Google it.
That's what I was thinking.
Right. But let me tell you something. I actually had an ex where I tried to bring in this element of how to communicate better with one another, right? I brought him in on that conversation. It wasn't just me going around and around in my own head. And he was just like, you don't need to go online to try to find, I'm a grown man. I know exactly how to da-da-da-da-da. I've been doing this for so-and-so. I mean, this is how I am. And it ain't nothing wrong with it. So you can't, so some people are just going to stonewall. Yeah,
No,
exactly.
Tell them you're going to Google it. I wouldn't tell her. I would just Google
No, I'm talking about as far, right. But I'm talking about as far as just saying, hey, look, let's just see if we could find another method. Of trying to figure out how to communicate.
That's an ego trip. And
that's ego.
Right.
It's an ego trip, and he's not invested.
Well, look, what about if you tell somebody I need some space and they don't want to give you that space because they're interpreting it totally different than what's coming across? And it's like, I don't know how many other ways you can actually interpret I need some space. But if I tell you I need some space and you constantly trying to make me do things that I don't want to do, it's like, what do you do in that situation? Or what do you think when a woman says that?
I'd say, hey, well, if a woman says I need some space to me, that's happened to me one time. It was, I need to talk over the phone. And then when we got face to face, it was, I need some space. So it ain't that I was, it was a very bad time. It was a very bad time. So I wasn't the best person back then, so I understood why she was saying what she was saying. But, damn, you just took me down.
My bad. But see, but what you mentioned earlier, that could also mean I'm trying to, what's the phrase you used? You said I'm trying to decompress. No. You said I'm trying to process, right? So I need some space could also mean I'm trying to process. And you coming in my face is not gonna let me process that right now. All it's gonna do is make me angry. And make me probably go crack the glass. I didn't say break it, we can go crack it.
That's true. Like when I said that to me, we were not living together. So, I just took it as, oh, okay. Because I took it as you about to go break the glass, right? I'm definitely about to go break the glass now. You see what I mean? I'm about to go break it. I ain't worried about what you're doing no more. So, you want space, you got space. I'm going to give you what you want. Now, for the guy that you say that to, and he doesn't know how to take that, what I was going to say was, what do you think I'm saying to you? And shut up. Wait for the answer. Let them take a minute, 2 minutes, 10 minutes in silence.
I like that. That's really good.
You have to wait for the answer, because how do you know what perspective they're coming from unless they speak it? And the problem is we sit here and we go ding, 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 all around our head, trying to figure out. Or if you really threw, you just be like, all right, whatever. All right, I told you, whatever.
Let me give you a scenario. So I actually had a situation to where I had someone who I was, busy. And I said, well, it was, on a weekend to where I just didn't feel like being bothered. I don't feel like having company right now. I'd rather just, I'm just going to chill. I didn't even say I need some space. I didn't even say I don't want to see you. I just said, just not tonight. So can I come by later? No, I don't feel like having company tonight. Why did this fool call me 14 times, text me 12 times, and then came over to my house, Jerry? I was just like, are you insane? What is wrong with you? Did you not get what part of I don't feel like seeing you today? Don't you understand? Now, what did he hear in that moment? I don't know. And at the point to where it was like 14 calls and 12 text messages and a pop-up, I'm like, bruh, something wrong with you. So even if I was inclined to even want to spend time with him beyond that, nah, that was it. Bam, we done. Nah, I can't deal with that.
Red flag.
Too many. Like what, 20, 27 of them.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge. I mean, for me, it was just to be like, what? I mean, in that situation, if you say, yeah, I'm trying to, now this is how it would translate to me. We've been spending time, but we're not in a relationship, but we've been spending time. And I mean, I can't, this has never happened to me, but I think I would feel like, yo, oh, she got somebody else coming through.
Ah, see, and I didn't. I was just trying to get my stuff together because usually on the weekends, you know, we grown. I'm trying to get ready for my week. I'm washing clothes and cleaning up. Didn't feel like being bothered, and I'm like, I'm just trying to make sure I get myself right. That
And
me,
he trying to pop up to see if you got somebody else.
Exactly. So the papa, because he thought I had somebody else. But see, the thing is, we weren't even together at this point. We were not together.
I know.
He wanted to get back in,
right?
and he thought he was gonna come over and get back in. So me telling him no, he thought I had somebody. Wait, but I didn't. And him popping up, all that did was guarantee that he was never gonna get back in.
Yeah, what I was gonna say is that that's a clingy ass man, and his reaction is out of previous trauma where that happened to him before.
Good
I
point.
was about to bring that up.
Somebody told him. Oh,
I didn't think that far into it. I just block, delete, and yeah.
Yes.
As you should.
I was just about to say that, and then I was gonna say something else that people, I think we don't consider is people sometimes from previous relationships, they're coming out of one relationship and are still thinking that they can practice some of the same practices that they were practicing with the previous person. They're so accustomed to having somebody that they just think, okay, I'm gonna hop right in and I could just act like this with this brand new person. And they don't get that they're actually conducting in that pattern, in that behavior. And therefore, obviously, it's gonna come off as a little bit too aggressive and too much. Like, we don't have no depth yet for you to be acting like that.
Is it a clinical term for that other than insane? I'm just saying. I think it's insanity because you're doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. That's insanity. He got mad when I said that, bruh. You expecting a different result? I didn't tell you over here. What you doing at my house? What? Yeah. What you want me to say? But hi, glad you showed up. Come in. No.
Well, what Jerry actually said is like a sign of PTRS, post-traumatic relationship syndrome. So you do have these things, but
wait. Say that one again. Post what?
Post-traumatic relationship syndrome.
All right.
It's a thing.
On that one.
Yeah, it is a thing. It is a thing.
Syndrome.
Syndrome. Yes. Yeah. And there's also relationship OCD. So you talk about doing the same thing over and over again. You know, that's a thing also. There is such thing.
I'm looking at that cup like, I'm waiting for you to fling it across the bars.
Across the bars. That's
it's a thing. I don't know why, but it's a thing. I love it more than all my other.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I can't get it out of my head. Every time he was picking that cup up, I couldn't hear nothing nobody was saying. I just got that imagery.
What's the next question? We got only a little bit of time. Let's go.
Oh, shoot. Okay, here. Where are the time?
Yeah, I'm paying attention.
Let me hush. So I do believe that ultimately, you know, as far as, you know, there. Sorry, my eyes watering. Y'all know I have my allergies. My eyes water fast. But I do believe, or I'm gonna ask you, do you think that men make assumptions of what women are truly saying versus what we're saying? Are you assuming one thing? Here's an example of what I mean. If a woman is saying no, some guys are like, oh, that means go harder, like Keisha was saying. So are these assumptions being made sometimes? Are men
Wait,
making
before
assumptions
you
when
answer
they
that,
hear a woman say something?
let me say this. I'm just going to say this about women. We already know it just depends on how much we like that person. If we are committed in love with somebody and we say no and we tell them we don't want to see you, we 100% want you to come check on us. We want you to give us what we're looking for in that moment. But if I hadn't seen you, we're not dating, and you getting on my nerves, no means no. It does not mean bring your crazy butt over to my house. Now, if we are in a
Right.
relationship, we're living together, whatever, we just had a slight separation, and I say, no, I don't want to see you. 100%, I do want to see you. So it just depends on the level of
They go
attraction that
see
we have
me.
for that person. You said they don't want to see you.
You ain't go see me. I ain't coming through.
How would you
You
Yeah.
like
tell
that
me
person?
no, I don't want you to come. I'll be like, huh?
Okay.
I,
Okay. So, in other words, you will make the assumption, hold on, you will make the assumption that, okay, well, I guess it's not an assumption, but okay,
no, that's what
she
you
don't
told
want to
me.
see me.
You told me.
Right,
You
exactly.
told me I
Exactly. That's
don't
what I'm
want to see you.
saying.
That's
Right.
crazy.
Exactly. But in our minds, it's like, no, it's not don't make that assumption. It's the wrong assumption. I want to be seen.
Not my problem.
So,
But
yeah.
wait a minute. But what about if you think that, okay, she might have somebody over there? You gonna do a ride by at least?
Me? No. I've never
Mm,
done that before. So for me, it would be, I mean, it is what, even if I still want, she got another. Okay. Okay. It's like that. I'm going to go do me. I'm just being honest with you. Like, I've
mm-hmm.
always been like that. Um,
Wow.
I don't force it. Like I said, go where I'm appreciated, not tolerated. If I
That's
don't
right.
feel appreciated,
Celebrated, not
don't.
tolerated. So I do have one last question for you. So, is there anything that you have heard a woman say to where after she told you what she meant, you were just like, what?
Oh, I'm quite sure. Yeah. Yeah. I'm quite sure. Let
Mm.
me make sure I got the question right. Has a woman said something to me? I processed it one way, and then what? What
She
was the other
said,
part of
that's
it?
not what I meant.
And she said, "That's not what I meant." Oh, yeah, that happened all the time. That
Mm.
happened all the time. Because I think in the relationship, I'm the type of dude. I am trying to think. I am playing chess, and if the woman's playing chess too,
Mm-hmm.
it gets crazy. Really, I think both of you end up playing checkers, and both of you lose.
Oh my
So
goodness. I
that's
like
one
that.
thing I learned in my last, well, in my long-term marriage. I was with someone for 17 years. So I learned in that relationship, well, not till afterwards, sadly enough, to a degree. But it's part of that process of learning and growing. But I learned that, I was so busy thinking, what are you thinking? That, that, you know, you're missing the whole point. So I had to,
Mm.
so what I know now is I'm not letting my mind run away with me like that no more. And I know where that comes from in my genes. I know where that comes from what I saw in childhood. I
Mm.
understand it. I understand that you're insecure because of your insecurity. You're thinking that this other person is thinking this, that, and the third, and that person ain't thinking that and the third. And out of your anger, you said something, and that person's like, "Oh, you insecure about that." Okay.
Mm.
So if that person does not love you, really, if they don't like you, they about to tear your ass up if
Yeah.
they choose to. So, you know, all this stuff we talking about goes back to if you heal yourself of your traumas, realize what's programming versus what life truly is and what you truly are, and understand that you are worthy of the things that you desire. Understand that you are worthy of the love that you want, etc. Until you do those things, your boundaries aren't solid. Your boundaries are not as they ought to be. Therefore, you have holes. It's like having a huge fort with this huge wall around it, but because of your trauma, you got uh, I don't know, a hole the size of a front door over
Mm,
there on that part of the wall, another one over there, you know. But when you look out, you think you're really badass and you good because you don't see those two holes until they get penetrated. And
wow.
now you're, uh-oh, what? So you gotta heal yourself no matter what. I'm trying to be the absolute best man I can be. I'm trying to be the absolute best person I can be. I'm really, really, really doing my best to put my ego to the side and take the wheel of the car. Every
Man.
now and then when he holler at me, I let him do what he do. Because sometimes I need that boundary enforced, you know, and that's a not so nice side of me. So I'm sorry. Go ahead. I know you
No,
want to
I was
wrap it
gonna
up.
say that's it. That's a mic drop right there. I mean, I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let that be the final point because you spoke it. You spoke a word on that one, and ultimately, it's all about communication and respect. So, look, y'all.
Yeah.
I hope y'all enjoyed the show today. We had some great topics talking about what women say versus
Yep.
what men hear, and I just want
Thank
you
you,
guys
Jerry.
to know it's all about understanding, communication, and respect. So hope you guys found today's topics to be insightful and helpful in your quest to help you crack that crazy girl code. And as always, we love hearing from our listeners. If you have any questions or topics that you want us to cover on our future shows, drop us a message or leave us a comment below. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please make sure that you like, subscribe, and share, and leave us a message or a review. You can also connect with us on social media for more updates and join the conversation. But remember, the journey to the top of any mountain begins with one single step. And you guys, as always, don't stop, keep climbing. Thank you for tuning in to Alpha Intuition today. And until next time, you guys, peace.
Peace.